Memorial Fieldhouse, where tonight it's the Battle of the Bulldogs as Green comes to town to visit Canton McKinley. Yours truly, Scott Davis. I'm joined by Kent McClelland, who has a ton of information. Kent, I'm just going to immediately turn it over to you.
Thank you, Scott. I went out Tuesday night, and with Coach V, we actually rode out together, and he was scouting Green for tonight's game, and I wanted to kind of get an idea what to expect. And unfortunately, Green looked really good, and I was impressed with their size. I'm impressed with their strength. They give you an idea about size. They play a 6'5" point guard. That's not something you see every day. Bring a 6'7" sophomore off the bench. Really a nice-looking team. I think we have a quickness advantage, but we're going to have to box out on the boards, it looks to be a great Federal League matchup.
Any keys either in Coach V's mind or your mind for this game tonight?
Well, I think our ability to if we can come semi-close on the rebounding margin, right, I think that'll bode very well for us. I think we can turn Green over a little bit. Their point guard is filling in because the Martin boy got hurt in football, and so he was scheduled to be the point guard. So I think there's an opportunity for us to create some turnovers.
I want to take the opportunity to say everybody's back. The band is back together again. Producer director Dave Jingo, IT and streaming Amanda Dukes, on the replays Jen Eberly, and on Cameron. What a job he's done all season long. And I told him that girls' game, we may have fallen short on the scoreboard, but he was great on the camera. And we're talking about Mr. Ian Hunter. And of course, Kent is with me because I put it to you this way: Ralph Lee Jr. and his better half are seeing the world as we speak.
Yes.
And we'll leave it at that.
They are returning next Friday. I don't know if they'll be back in time for him to be at the game or if I'll be back on the game, but one way or the other, you won't have to work by yourself.
I was going to say, the beauty is the two of you are great to work with, and I mean that sincerely. You're listening to the voice of the Fieldhouse, Mr. Alex Rafus. Please rise, gentlemen, remove your caps and join in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattled, the bombs bursting in through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Scott, I don't know where Canton McKinley finds these kids, but it seems like from football season right through basketball, everyone does an outstanding job with the national anthem.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we'll get ready for the starting lineups. I think we've kind of mentioned that the two people to watch for Green, and I saw a replay of Big Time Sports, Lake and Green. Same two, Brady Rollison averaging 17 per game, and Jared Taylor, who will be running the point, and also averaging 10 points per game. And Badalo averaging 15 per game coming off the bench. So they got three in double figures.
So, yeah, the DeBallo boy is a 6'7", 6'8" sophomore. So he played as a freshman last year. Rollison played very well against us as last year as a junior.
Yes.
And, this is there's not a lot of experience, but there's enough out here on this Green team.
And Rollison already been told that Ohio State very interested in him to play baseball.
Yes.
So we got some depth back for McKinley tonight. And looking at the starters, it'll begin with 0, Keith Quincy, coming off a season high 19 against Massillon.
Excellent effort by Keith. Yeah.
He is the acknowledged one of two leaders of this team. Number one, Jaleel Graham, his season high 36, averaging 15, and he had a solid game against Massillon.
Must have had a half a dozen assists too for his. He was responsible for many of Keith Quincy's 19 points.
Yes, they worked well together. Dante McClellan, you know him from football at linebacker and wide receiver, and you should know him in basketball too, averaging 6.5 points per game. And we talked about Trajan Foster. He's the other acknowledged leader. It's good to see him back in the starting lineup. He's averaging a little better than 13 per game.
It looked to me during the Massillon game, well, we certainly didn't finish the game as strongly as we would have liked. You never throw a win against Massillon back, right?
Right.
But I thought that Keith and Dante and Trayshawn are moving like basketball players. I felt like athletically they're in their basketball mode now. So that bodes well for us.
And Trajan, too, I should mention, did have a couple of key points down the stretch. He overcame perhaps the frustration of what was happening at that point. I want to mention Antonio Williams rounding out the starting five, averaging 4 per game, but he has the season high of 14, so he's capable offensively. We'll have to see how it plays out here.
Green opens up in a man-to-man.
We just talked about him right on cue, Trajan Foster.
Yes. Yeah, that's Trayshawn's game, going to the basket and the mid-range jumper. Coach V had told me he's going to match up Trayshawn against the 6'5" guard, Taylor, for Green. So that'll be a matchup we want to watch. You cannot let 30 catch and shoot the ball. He just drilled them against Perry on Tuesday night. And I'm sure our scouting report tells us better than that.
Well, here's the young man we wondered, can he help out a little bit more tonight? So far, so good. Antonio Williams for 2. This is quite some pace.
Come down.
Jared Taylor for 2.
Taylor there, he got behind us, and you remember him from the wide receiver in football.
Yes.
He can really go. I mean, once he gets past you, you're going to have a hard time catching up with him.
Nice pass inside. And out of bounds to Green.
Number 24 for them, Luke Jansen, Scott. If he didn't play on the football team last year, the coach will be begging him to this year because he is a big, strong kid.
And right on cue.
Yes.
Jansen with 2. 7-4 visitors. We played about a minute and a half.
7 points in the first minute and a half is not what Coach McCluskey was looking for at the defensive end.
Swinging it around the perimeter. Graham, a little short of what would have been a 3-point goal.
Green has matched up Taylor against Jaleel on the defensive end, so Jaleel's giving up 6 inches there.
Graham comes away with it. Got numbers.
Oh, I felt like there was a basket to be had there.
And they'll call traveling.
I think Jaleel was a bit too unselfish there, Scott. I think he shoots that floater from the middle of the key very nicely, and I thought that was there for him.
I was wondering if Green could keep up with an up-tempo pace, and the answer so far is yes. They have a nice blend. Well, that would have been a basket. Instead, it'll be a foul on Graham.
Scott Gooden, we call that a patient whistle. He did not blow the whistle till he saw that he missed the shot. Then he gave the Green player the foul. Scott calls Division II basketball games when he can, in high school when he can't because the pay is so much better. So we're 100 feet away. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on
There
that
you
call.
go.
How's that?
Yeah, he was a lot closer than we were, although I do like our broadcast location. Trying to split the pair, and Lucas does so. This season high 11 against Copley. Graham with the basketball, 8-4, Green. Williams with it. In the lane, that's what you were talking about.
That's the floater I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yes, that's an excellent shot for him.
Graham in the scoring column, 8-6 Green, off balance shot. Here come the Bulldogs.
It's a good look there. Trayshawn Foster, and a nice decision to kick it out to Jaleel.
Spin move, no, but a whistle.
Taylor's a nice player, Scott. He handles the ball beautifully. That's a very nice spin move away from pressure. And we can't allow him to penetrate the ball way down in the key like that. We've got to stop him higher because his length gives us problems down there.
I was going to say because he's 6'5", he's
Right.
Very comfortable down there. He hits a pair of free throws. He's got 4 in the game, and the lead is 4, 10-6. We're inside the 5-minute mark of this opening quarter. Nice feed inside, whistle on the foul, and that should send Keith Quincy to the line.
You know, I didn't pay quite as much attention to the JV team last year, and so I don't know if Keith has always done this well, but we call it making ourselves available, and he's just able to find the open spaces inside there, and if we'll give him the ball, he's really a nice scorer, only at 6'2".
Of course, this is a year, as Coach V has told us, where he's got more football players than I think he's ever had before.
Yes.
And of course, to me, that's old school.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, Rollison, I thought almost traveled there, but he did not. Somebody got a hand on that, coming away with it. Graham to his running mate.
Excellent fast break by the
Foster.
Bulldogs. Just super.
These two led the team last year, and they're back doing
Yes.
it this year. And now McKinley within 1 at 10-9 as we approach the midway point of this opening quarter. Both teams crisp with ball movement. Rollison working inside, kicks it out. Taylor for 3. Leads all scores with 7. Grim, no, tipped around. And Luke Jensen with it. Bitong and 3-point goal by number 20. We talked about him, Rollison, but that's his first points of the game.
Coach V thought that Green had a moving screen that got him so open. Voiced that to referee Gooden, who took it by, he took it, wasn't offended by it, and we'll see if he keeps an eye on that going forward.
Well, it was down to 1. Now it's back up to 7. Yep. I'll agree with the officials there. It wasn't even half a foot or half a sneaker, but still out is out. And here's Sincere McNeil coming in. Talk about football to basketball. And
well, I felt like we might see. I felt like Sincere might be a key guy for us to give us some heft against this bulk that Green has.
stolen. Graham for 2. Graham with 4. The lead is down to 5. Inside 3 minutes to go in the opening period.
We're not. Dante McClellan is not getting up pressuring Rolston the way that Coach V would like there. I don't know why he's given him so much respect that far away from the basket.
Nice
Sincere
block,
McNeil,
yes.
nice help.
He said, I can do the same thing on the football
Yes,
field as
yes.
I'm doing right now. And of course, not official yet, but throwing in another McKinley great up at Bowling Green State University.
Yeah, Harold had a really nice freshman season
Yes,
there.
he did. Very proud of Harold Fannin Jr. 3-point goal. Guess who? Brady Rollison.
That doesn't look like luck to me, Scott. Those are too smooth. We're not going to be able to let him set his feet like that.
He's got 6. Shot off the mark as Moody is in the ball game. He came in at the same time as 32. Good ball movement.
I think McNeil got a piece of that too.
Yep, McNeil comes away with it. DeFoster inside, dumped it off, crossed the rim, no good by Moody. And there's his
Jason's
man,
has been
Rollison.
out for 3 weeks, so he's a bit rusty. But he can't get down on himself, and we just got to play through that. He'll make good plays for us. No.
He proves he was human, Rollison, on that one. And I'm guessing foul will be on 30. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Mark Danner
Connor
picks up
Weldon
the
giving Dante McClellan the break here. And Connor's a physical senior too, and I'm sure that factors into Coach V's thought process.
Good ball movement around the perimeter. Nice backdoor pass, and it's down by Graham, but give the assist to Connor Weldon.
6'7" Bondello on the floor now for Green, Scott. He snuck in the game without us noticing. I don't know. Doesn't speak well for us. So the 6'7" can get in there. Sincere McNeil just playing an outstanding game for us. And I'm not talking about scoring. I'm talking about everything else.
Everything, yep. Whistle. Timeout. Green.
Yes. And of course, Sincere had the ankle injury in football, and he missed all of the preseason in basketball. Unfortunately, he missed the Massillon football game and the playoffs also. But it looks like he's moving well and starting to round.
Well, and I'm very proud of him because to be hurt on the opening kickoff of the Massillon game your senior year had to be tough. I mean, just
yes. Tough on him and tough on the team.
But luckily, it didn't affect how everybody felt about him. He was one of the best receivers in the state of Ohio. Yeah. 19-15 is the score. And of course, on this pace, we'd be looking at scores in the 80s or 70s.
Well, one thing I admire about Green is many teams try to slow the game down against McKinley, and Green is more than happy to play an up-tempo game.
Well, the Green girls used that against the Bulldog girls, or as I call them, the Lady Pups, and that game was in the 40s.
Gets away with a travel there as he catches the ball in front of everybody.
McNeil, first personal foul.
Now you can see if McNeil is 6'4", Bondello is every bit of 6'7", if not 6'8".
Whistle.
Okay, Scott. So he called a moving offensive screen there. That is just the call that Coach V was pointing out. The same referee made the same call.
Interesting.
So it was good for Coach V.
Yep.
Good for the referee to be able to say, "Hey, Coach, maybe I did miss one. I'll keep an eye on it."
And that's the way you'd like to think it is.
It's the way it should go.
Yep.
Yes. Some of that depends on how harshly and respectfully you point out to the referee the errors of his ways, right?
Yes.
They're human too.
Yes.
Antonio Williams is very close to a 5-second call out front there.
I like the ball movement by McKinley.
Jaleel Graham getting a rest now, but hopefully not for too long.
No. Taylor with the steal. Shot no, and that'll do it.
Jaleel checks in to start the second quarter, so that's good to see. Reed Sims checking into the game, and so there's some more firepower for the Bulldogs on the way. Dave Jingo was just won all the money in the BAA
bulletin
ticket
just
number.
handed to us.
So maybe he'll buy us a hamburger after the game. I don't know. So I don't think there's any surprises here the first quarter, in my opinion. I mean, this is the kids that we know are very good at green are getting the job done. I think we settled in. Taylor got 7 points before you and I sat in our chair, I think. And
or thought about sitting down.
And we slowed him down. So,
well, I'm short 1 point for McKinley, so these are definitely unofficial. I got Graham for 8, Foster for 4. Correct me if you know where I missed the point.
No,
Antonio Williams for 2, Quincy for 1.
That's 15.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Graham's were basically layups on breakouts, either on steals.
Coach finds out about this, he'll make me do laps after the game. But
and so Taylor averages only 10 points a game, so at 7, he's if we can hold him to a season average, we're going to be in good shape here.
So Green with the ball and a 4-point lead, 19-15, just underway, second period of play.
Reed Sims, sophomore, matched up against Jarrett Taylor, so that's
Luke Ickes is in the game, number 11 for Green. Rollison gets a roll. He's got 8. And the lead is 7, 21-15 rather. Let's change that to the lead of 6. I'll get my math going here.
Well, you didn't have the pleasure going to Canton City Schools, did you?
Well, I started in the Canton City
I
School
didn't realize
District.
that. Okay.
Lucas Baton comes back in the ball game for Green. There's a 3. It was halfway down, came back out for Graham. I don't know what Graham ever did to that rim that caused that rejection. Oh, boy, this young man is hot. Jarrett Taylor leads all scorers with 10, first in double figures. Sims with the basketball.
We've had good success on the fast break. The problem is if Green scores, it's hard to get a break going, right?
When I think of Green boys basketball, I usually think of very deliberate. This is not very deliberate.
No. It gives you an idea of the confidence that Coach Kinsley has in his group this year.
Williams drew the foul. Foul's on number 2. That's Lucas Batong.
You know, I'm watching Coach Kinsley talk to Jarrett Taylor, Coach Jarrett Taylor, and I'm impressed with how the young man receives coaching. The same thing I watched at Perry on Tuesday night. Coach Kinsley is able to talk to him in a conversational way, and he's got his eye contact and listening to what his coach wants done.
Well, you realize how good he is. This is his 25th season at Green High School as head basketball coach.
So
And his 28th, I believe, overall. So he adjusts what he does to the talent that he has. The players down, now up for Green. So we're back to 5-on-5. Graham. Tried to get it back. And Green was ready for it. Inside, got a lot of height.
yeah. Reed Sims taking advantage of a 4 or 5 inch height advantage over Green's number 11, Luke Ickes. I would think this is the most difficult defensive assignment Coach V has given Reed Sims this year, Scott. He generally does not have him guarding the other team's best player. So
Connor Weldon picks up his first foul. We have numerous substitutions. 3 starters are back, so that Keith Quincy is back, Dante McClellan is back, and Trajan Foster is back.
yeah. Well, this is a fast-paced game where I think we're going to have to use 8 or 9 guys to keep players fresh.
Travel called. It'll be McKinley's basketball, down by 6, approaching the 5-minute mark in the first half.
Coach Bryant was going to help referee Gooden with that call, and he told him he had the travel himself. He didn't need the help. So
halfway down, comes out. 4 points so far off the bench by Reed Sims Jr.
we're Sincere McNeil out, and we're giving up about 5 inches in the post there. Coach V doesn't mind that foul by Dante McClellan. That was going to be an uncontested layup for 2. Thomas Ralston's a very good free throw shooter, and maybe for not.
Yeah, it didn't take long for Sincere to get back in the game.
No, I'm not surprised. Bandalo is not happy to have been taken out of the game here, Scott. Coach Kinsley was looking for something different apparently on the floor.
McKinley trying to cut into an 8-point deficit. Beautiful
Outstanding
play.
offensive execution. Again, Keith Quincy cutting off the screen, finding an open area. Easy basket.
One football player dishing it to another. All right, Rollison, I'm running out of superlatives, and we're not even at halftime. He's got a dozen.
Yeah, we've got to sit down and play better defense out on top than that.
The lead is 8, the midway point. Make it 5.
What I like is Jaleel's had some very close misses, and by that I mean in and out, and it hasn't discouraged him. He continues to shoot, continues to look for good shots, and we need that.
Third player in double figures, the first for the Bulldogs with 11. Oh.
He did the same thing against Perry Tuesday night.
Danner with 6. The lead is 8. Trying to get it back into double digits.
Boy,
Biggest lead of the game.
Green is getting some good looks, but they are also making a torrid percentage from the 3-point line. I mean, so this is not a game. We talked in the Massillon game about wanting to double the Farrington boy and get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat us. It looks like they've got enough shooters that we're going to have to play man-to-man, and you're on your own. We're not going to be able to leave and double.
So Jaleel leads McKinley with 11. And on the other side of the ledger, 2 in double figures. Rollison with 12 and Taylor with 10. And as I told you, I saw a replay of a game played a while back between Lake and the Bulldogs of Green, and those were the top 2 scorers in that game.
Number 30, Mark Danner, has made 2. He averages 9 points. I'll bet you that's 3 threes, and he's already hit 2 of those.
Well, the first thing the Bulldogs need to do is get it back into single digits and then break it down from there. But instead, ball is loose. 3-point goal, Rollison. He's got a game high 15, and the lead is 14. Ooh. Graham took a shot.
The good news is Jaleel has the ability to get by the Green defenders pretty much when he wants. The bad news is 6'9", 6'8" Bondello is down there waiting for him.
Yeah, this is a new dimension for the number of years I've followed Green, to have so much height on one team. Graham off the side of the iron.
It's not a bad shot, but the floor is balanced, so we really don't have anybody underneath the basket. With 39 points for Green, Scott, with 2.5 minutes to go in this quarter.
They're still on 80-plus points scheme. Doesn't happen very often. I should mention Bungalow is wearing number 4. I finally figured that out. His old number was 22.
Okay.
Rollison proving he's human. Nice block by Taylor.
Yes. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Trayshawn go under the basket and reverse the ball from the other side and kind of use the rim to keep Taylor away. I'll bet you he does that next time. It's a lot of length there.
The lead is 14.
It's the second time we have thrown that away.
And Rollison.
Rollison was 17.
Biggest lead of the game, 16 for Green.
Excellent pass by Jaleel Graham, and Keith Quincy moving without the ball.
Quincy with 5-4 in this second period. Ball is loose on the floor. Players are down. 2 here, and 1 is McNeil. The other is Rollison.
Rollison's shoulder came out of his socket against Perry on Tuesday night, and he came out the last quarter and a half of the game. But boy, I think he's going to have a surgery on that at some point here, and it just doesn't stop the young man from playing hard.
Nice round of applause from both sides, which is nice to see. And Sincere limps back to the bench.
It looks to me like he may have gotten kneed in the thigh, which is painful.
Yes.
But hopefully it's something that he'll return to the game from.
41 for Green, 27 for McKinley. 1:40 to go before halftime. You can't help but be impressed by the performance of the Bulldogs from neighboring Summit County.
No, if we can get this inside of 10 points before the half, probably we'd be feel pretty good.
3 ball, a little bit short. Nice rebound inside. Big trees in there. Got to call a foul. I'm going to guess it's on Bundalo, number 4.
2-shot foul for McKinley.
At the line for McKinley, number 0.
Well, Keith Quincy, in case you're just joining us, season high 19 against Massillon, and every opportunity he took advantage of. At least it seemed like
Yes.
it this past
I think he
Saturday.
was 9 for 11 from the floor, if I'm not mistaken.
Quincy splits the pair. He's got 6 in the game. Green with the ball and a 13-point lead. Approaching the 1-minute mark, first half.
Number 4, Nick Bundalo.
Bundalo comes through.
He got that ball down on the block, and again, that's a tough matchup for anybody on our team.
Foster with it. Quincy. Sims comes up with the ball. Clock says 35 seconds.
Coach V has a specific set he's looking for. And that's
Ball
not what we're
stolen
looking
now
for.
by Rollison. Taylor with it. Inside 15 seconds. Rollison and Taylor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, whistle.
Boy, that's going to give them a 1-and-1 with they were in a very bad way there.
Yeah.
And that was only 6. Okay, I thought that was their 7th. Okay. Actually, then it's not a bad foul at that point.
Antonio Williams checks
Now they're
back
trying
in.
to isolate Bundalo down low here and get him a bucket late here. Fortunately, the backboard got in the way on the inbounds pass or the entry pass.
Is that what we call the 6th man for McKinley on that possession? Long shot hit off the back of the rim. Well, let's see what we got. Rollison, the story, obviously, for the Green Bulldogs with 17, and right behind him, Taylor with 10. That's a normal 1-2 punch, but they've had a lot of people contribute. Over for McKinley, you've got Graham with 11, and no one else in double figures.
No, I see that Keith Quincy has 6. Foster scored 4 points right away in this game, and they kept him off the scoreboard the rest of the way. Finished with 4. I would think there's going to be a lot more conversation on about the defensive end of the floor than there is offense. Yeah. Candidly, here,
I would agree.
That's too many points for us to give up in a half of basketball. And you and I don't have the benefit of the shooting stats, but if Green didn't shoot over 50% in the first half, I would be shocked.
We'll have to get a mathematician in to fix that, because there's no question they were above that 50% mark. Yeah. So we're going to step aside. 43 for the visitors, the Green Bulldogs, 28 for a home team, the Canton McKinley Bulldogs. We're live from the field house. We'll be back. Hello again, everyone. I'm the slightly late Scott Davis, but it's nice to talk to people. And I tell you, I gotta say, the people of Green High School have been so kind to yours truly and to our operation over the years. And I complimented them. I mean, I think this is probably, and of course, then they bring up a game where they struggled, and I understand that too. But we're seeing the best of the Green Bulldogs tonight.
They've been a great addition to the Federal League.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, they were in the Suburban League for a number of years. But if you'll notice, Green came out with about 5 minutes to go in half because I think Coach Kinsley, they walked in there, use the restroom, get a drink of water, and go back out there and do what you did. And
I somehow think they just want to let their performance tell the tale.
yes, yeah. So,
and maybe it's just easier when you're up by.
It'll be interesting to see if we make a defensive adjustment here, or if we just hope to improve our defensive effort. Let's see what we do.
Graham, good. He leads McKinley with 13. Taylor, good. The only problem is we can't exchange buckets. We're going to have to somehow, there's a push there, but play on, say the officials. Rollison with the rebound. It's Rollison. He'll take it all the way off the front of the iron. Good defense by McClelland. Dante with it. He takes it all the way. Rimno. He gets the rebound and smartly knocks it off a Green player.
One thing that I can tell you has changed from first half to second is Dante McClelland's intensity. He's really come out here working hard at the defensive end and scrapping on the glass.
Graham to trigger, bounced around. And it's up to Mark Danner.
I felt like a bounce pass would have gotten through there.
And when you're up by 15, you can afford to slow it down on occasion. Good defense by Williams, holding on to it, the Tong. Officials allowing some contact. I'm glad to see that. It just has to be, a certain line in the sand, so to speak.
I felt like we committed a foul, and it had no effect on the play, and the referee said, hey, let's just play on. And I think that's a good bit of refereeing.
Luke Jensen picks up the foul, his first.
There's two ways to look at a foul, Scott. One is that it's technically a foul, and the other is was the other team disadvantaged by what happened? And if they were not, play on. And that's what the referee did that time.
Foster with the basketball.
Our passing is not crisp. We're not passing the ball, or it should come into the shooter's position where what we call the shooting pocket.
McClellan again across the rim, but didn't go in. The lead is 15. Time check, 5:35 to go, quarter number 3.
Again, I think at halftime, Coach McCluskey pointed out to Dante McClellan that Ralston had 17 points, and he was his primary defender. And I think that Dante's taken umbrage to that. Good for him.
Foul will be on Foster. His first. Of the 10 on the court right now, no one has more than 2 personal fouls.
And I am watching Green be a little more deliberate on the offensive end. And I think with a 16-point lead, Coach Kinsley said, let's just make sure we don't take poor shots. Give McKinley extra possessions.
Taylor has all 3 points in this quarter, volleyballed around. Here comes Trajan Foster.
Sir McNeil right in front of us, and he's still hobbling, trying to walk it off. It's a good shot for Trajan Foster. We'll take that all evening.
Down low, across the iron, no. Rebound, McClelland. 3-point goal is good. Connor Weldon in the scorebook.
Yes. Nice pass. Great defense.
And Green did a nice job getting back on defense, in particular Taylor. And the shot goes in by Bundalo.
It's a big turn of events there. We're down 15. We could have cut that. That's a 4-point swing to 11.
Bundalo with 6 off the bench. Green with the basketball. Midway point now of this third period of play. Danner, he's got 8.
I didn't see him shoot jump shots the other night. That was a nice play off the bounce, getting to about 12 or 13 feet. So that didn't show up in the scouting report.
McClellan. Nice pass inside to Foster.
Excellent backdoor cut by Trajan Foster. Dante McClellan with a very nice pass.
Foster with 6. 15-point lead, 3.5 minutes to go in the third period of play. Long distance shot, a little bit short. Inside rebound, no good. Good defense, Foster. And it results in a steal by Graham.
It's
Foster for 3 off the side of the iron.
Banner,
Nice
nice backdoor
defense.
cut. Good help defense by McKinley.
And Weldon in particular. Ooh. Now here's what I like. Players from both teams helping up Trajan Foster. His second foul. Checking back in for McKinley, Keith Quincy. And number 30, Reed Sims Jr. And Pine back in, 6'3" senior. Taylor inside, good for 2.
Yeah, we let Taylor get in front of
Bundalo.
us, and you can't catch up once that kid gets in front of you. I think Trajan Foster's a little winded, and he may need a break here.
Bundalo with 8 off the bench as he works himself to potentially join the starting lineup.
It's a good look by Jaleel Graham. We'll take that shot, particularly being down.
Good ball movement by Green. Good defense again by Weldon. 3-point goal is good. Number 20, Brady Rollison. He's got 19.
Ball miraculously bounces right out to Rollison. And we know what happens when he has time to shoot that ball.
Scoreboard says 20. We'll go with that. The lead is 20, 55-35, 1:45 to go, third period. Graham, little off balance. Outlet pass, Taylor, 2-on-2. Bundalo couldn't get the slam, now the other way. Instructions right in front of us by the head coach, Mark Kinsley. There's the slam that he wanted before.
I think, Scott, we're in a situation here where down by 22 with a minute to go. I think Coach V is now going to start to look around. Okay, who's really going to sell out here and give me a 110% effort, even though we're down by 22. And those are the kids you're going to see are on the floor at this point.
Something must have happened, whether it was during the dunk or immediately following, because Jaleel's by himself with the foul
Did they
line.
call him for hanging on the rim, or
Your guess is as good as mine. Because now that's so far away from where
the
we
referee
are.
is talking to the bungalow boy. I don't know if he may have turned and said something to the McKinley player after he dunked the ball, or if he, I don't think he hung on the rim excessively long.
57-37 inside a minute in the third period. Shot is good by Graham.
Green really doesn't have a good matchup for Jaleel. The problem is they've got 3 or 4 matchups that we don't have good matchups for. Trayshawn Foster with an outstanding effort.
Taylor down on the floor, helped up by one of the McKinley players.
Your attention, ladies and gentlemen, we recovered a lost credit card. It is a Visa card belonging to Kashmir Lackey. Kashmir Lackey, we have a lost Visa card. It is currently in the ticket office.
Yeah, I think that, Jaleel can pretty much get a good shot whenever he wants out there. But, we have tough matchups with Taylor, with Bungalow, with Ralston.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got about 3 tough matchups, and we've got 1.
But just looking at the 5 on the floor for each team, yes, Graham having a nice game with 17, but the combination of Brady Rollison and Jared Taylor, they've got 33 between the two of them.
Yes.
And again, everybody else in single digits who've played for McKinley.
Connor Weldon being rewarded for a nice job the last time he was back in the game here.
Yeah, he made an impact. He buried a 3 and played aggressive defensively. Inside 30 seconds. The lead is 18 for Green. Double team, but Rollison gets the ball out.
Green going to look for the last shot here of the quarter.
Pressure defense by McKinley. They'll call a foul on Graham. That will be his 3rd.
Now what we don't need is Jaleel Graham off the floor in foul trouble at this point. But you'll see Coach V bring him out for the last 16 seconds of the quarter so he doesn't pick up a 4th foul on the defensive end.
Good move. Williams back in. And we're down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And with 5 seconds, the basket by Jared Taylor. He's got 15, and at the end of 3, it's a 20-point lead for the visitors. Green 59, McKinley 39.
Well, Green had 43 at half, I remember. So we did slow them down a little bit at 16 points. But
McKinley could only imagine 11.
Really, sometimes you have to take your hat off to your opponent.
Yeah.
And Green has played a very solid game through 3 quarters.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. Not so much that McKinley has played a terrible game, but this Green team is very versatile. They've got speed, they've got height, they've got depth, and it's all on display here tonight.
Yes. Yeah, they've lost 2 Federal League games, and I think they got beat pretty handily early in the season, but of course they have some football players out there too. Taylor played football, Nance played football. The Bondola was not playing early in the season, so they had 3 starters that they were missing.
I want to mention while we have a moment that tomorrow at 1:15 p.m. the Lady Pups will be at Jackson. Despite the setback to this Green School team, of Lady Bulldogs. Pups are 8-3 overall, 4-2. Jackson 7-4 overall, and 4-2 in the Federal League.
Coach Bowden, when I've spoke with him, has been excited about this girls basketball team.
And that loss to Green, it was a defensive struggle, 43-40, the final score.
Yeah.
It was back and forth from the opening tip to the final buzzer.
Of course, his daughter Sydney is playing very well for the team.
Very well and doing a lot of different things.
Yes.
She can play the point. She's good defensively. And she can score offensively.
Absolutely not ready there on that inbounds pass, and they lob it up and for an easy basket.
Rollison leads all scores with 22. Nice pass inside. No, but it looks like Reed Sims Jr. will be going to the foul line. Mark Danner, second personal foul. Reed with 5 coming off the bench tonight for Coach V. Got the roll.
Yep. Nice soft touch.
It was his first trip to the line tonight.
Dante McClellan, good effort on the defensive end against Ralston. We did hold Ralston to 5 points. Excellent effort by Jaleel Graham. Trey Foster hitting his patented 10-footer.
Foster with 8. And Coach V coming out and saying, good effort.
Our kids are giving the Canton a great effort here.
Connor Weldon gets a third tour duty, so to speak. Good hustle by Green to maintain possession. And the basket by Bundalo.
Those are the kind of plays that really hurt. Jaleel Graham with an absolute circus play going to the basket. Again, they cannot stay in front of Jaleel. He'll have a chance for a free throw line to get to 20. Again, this game may sit with McKinley scoring 60 points, but it just defensively has been our problematic. Green has 63.
The look on Jaleel's face says it all. He's very surprised that Green gets another opportunity. And I'm using him as an example because I was looking down at the score sheet when it happened. Truth be told.
Yes.
(63-45), 6:31 left to be played here this evening. What you'd like to see is the intensity by both teams remain.
Yes, and I'm pleased with the effort our kids are giving.
Yes.
And we're now in a situation where we're going to have to scramble and press so hard that I think we're going to have to use our bench and keep shuffling guys in and out so we can keep fresh guys on the floor.
Sims, across the rim, no.
That was the shot we were looking for there, and
Bitton saved it. Wide open. Rollison passes up the three and lays it up. 7 in the second half, 24 in the game. Graham across the rim. 20-point lead. 5:40 to play. Off the side of the iron by Graham. Fighting for the ball.
Coach Kinsley pleading to slow that down.
Oh, yeah, he's not happy.
And interestingly there, Scott, so the ball goes off Mondello's hand. It was actually a good pass. Coach Kinsley is chewing out Taylor because he didn't want that pass made at that point in time. He's the clock is their friend. Good break for the Bulldogs.
(65-45), approaching the 5-minute mark remaining in this contest.
Graham with that little floater. Boy, he does that well. Coach V with a quick timeout.
This team high 21 for Graham.
This timeout may be as much to give our guys a rest as anything else. Of course, Coach Kinsley Green's going to have the ball out underneath our basket, and he knows that we're coming with some kind of a press. He's not sure which. We've shown a diamond press so far this year, a 1-2-2, and then also man-to-man.
Well, we talked about a lot of a 20-point deficit if you're a McKinley fan, but look, now it's 15.
It's 18, and that's too much
right.
time in
Shoot.
North Canton City schools. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry to all my math teachers. Wow. But thanks for correcting me. We got to keep this.
And of course, our friends at North Canton know that is said in jest. We don't need letters coming down here.
Speaking of Hoover, how's this for a segue? They're coming to the field house a week from tonight to take on the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
7:15,
Yes.
a probable varsity start.
Yes.
And on Tuesday of this coming week, the Bulldogs are at Jackson. That should be a battle, always is.
Yes, it will. And Jackson's playing well right now also. Although they were getting beat by Perry 22-14 late in the second quarter.
Starting play tonight, both were 3-1 in the Federal League. Well, McKinley coaches thought it was Bulldogs ball, and it was, but it's the orange-clad, the orange of green. Oh, Rollison off glass.
For heaven's sakes, when it rains, it pours.
9 in the second half, 27 in the game. Deep three, rim no by Graham. We'll lead back up to 19 as we approach the midway point of this final period. We have 2 live stream games coming up next week, to the best of my knowledge, as both teams will be on the road early in the week. And we'll have that McKinley Hoover game on a week from tonight, on Friday night. And then Saturday afternoon, this will be interesting. The girls will be here against Marlington. And Marlington is off to a 10-1 start.
I didn't realize that. Pandalo has 14 coming off the bench for Green, so he's really contributed well.
Yes. 10 of those in the second half. .340 left to be played here. Whistle, timeout. by our guests here this evening.
Yeah, Taylor 15, Bandalo 14, Rolston 27, and then Danner 8. So that's 29, 56, 64 of their 70 points.
Wow.
And you can check my Canton City school education on the math there.
The man is bringing it hard, ladies and gentlemen. Note, I've gotten quiet on the addition there. I got to reload. I'm like the guy who's an old computer, and when asked, well, I like this computer, can I fix it? The answer is, no, you better go out and get a new one.
Yeah. Haven't seen Sincere McNeil since he got hurt in the first half. And so hopefully he's ready for next week on Tuesday. Obviously, we're not going to see him tonight. That hurt. He really was playing a nice game in helping us deal with some of the size that Green has.
Ball stolen. McClellan. The drive, the reverse, and you called it earlier in the game.
That's what I was looking for the time before with Trayshawn. Very nice. I said he wouldn't do it the second time, that he'd go underneath the basket.
Foster with 10 now, second in double figures for McKinley, 6 of those in the second half. Approaching 3 minutes to go. 21-point lead for the visitors. McClellan against 2 players for the Bulldogs of Green. But now the ball is knocked away. It will be McKinley basketball. 2:50 left to be played. Graham inbound to Foster. Graham reverse. Fight inside for the rebound. Cross the rim. Good hustle by McKinley. Deep 3 by Sims. Front of the iron. And watch out here.
Yeah.
He's got 16, 12 of those in the second half. Graham, side of the iron, no. 2-on-1 this way.
Taylor trying to dunk.
Sims for 3. Rim, no. Taylor with the rebound. Foster is slow to get up, but he's back on the almost at field of play, but on the floor. And we're down to 1:40 left to be played. An impressive performance by the Green Bulldogs here tonight. McKinley never giving up, giving it everything they had on this evening.
What Green is getting an opportunity to do there is to, there'll be a time when they're up by 4 and they need to run clock and hold the ball, and it's a good opportunity for them to do that here.
Graham with 12 in the second half, 11 in the first half, 23 in total. Foul on Graham. And we have group substitutions for Green.
Well, the Big Four, 66 of their 72 points tonight.
Wow.
So. And
inside a minute. Team with the ball, 72-51 lead. A whistle and a traveling call.
We should mention that the Bulldog JV team looked very good
Yes.
in a overpowering win against Green, and I think we have 4 or 5 freshmen playing on that JV team. Coach Marco Richardson doing a very nice job with that group.
That shot was halfway down and came out for McClellan. Whistle, will a basket count? No, 1 and 1. Or was it number 11? Yeah. Well, Luke Ickes gets his name mentioned, if nothing else. He had just checked in. I also mentioned the bench. The Fortunato brothers, AJ number 15, Anthony 21, Ickes is 11, Manson is 3, Zajac is 10, and Samino Manson number 3. Everybody has played to the best of our knowledge here tonight for Green. And we're at 15 seconds. And AJ with his second basket of the year as this game comes to an end. Green led by 3 at the end of the first period, then started pulling away. And that's how it was through the last 3 quarters. 74-51 is the final. 2 in double figures for McKinley. And that's Graham, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 with a team high total of 21, and Foster contributed 10. On the other side of the ledger, plenty of scoring. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I had Brady for 26. I also saw 27 up on the board at one point. So maybe 26 and a half if you wanted to get the average. 15 for Taylor, 16 off the bench by Bundalo. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm inclined to give Green credit more than discredit to the Canton team. Coach V will have ways that we could have played better, but boy, they played very well. They were poised the whole way, and this Green team is really coming on. I think they and Jackson are probably playing about as well as anybody in the Federal League right now.
So again, 2 more live streams next week for you. A week from tonight, it'll be the boys of McKinley hosting the boys of North Canton Hoover. That'll be a nice representation of the 2 school districts I attended. And then next Saturday, an interesting matchup. The Lady Pups will host a Marlington team, the Lady Dukes. As I say, at last check, had a record of 10 and 1. So we want to say a big thank you to all of you watching tonight on the live stream, Lucas Live Media on Facebook, to our producer director Dave Jingo, IT and streaming Amanda Dukes, replay Jen Eberly, on camera Ian Hunter. Can't read my own notes, Coach, anymore. To Kent McClellan, my broadcast partner, and most of all, my thanks to you for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.